What's up, sports fans? Welcome back. On this episode, we celebrate a couple of Pisces' birthdays.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about baseball. We're going to be talking about all the crazy moves in the NFL. We barely got the free agency yet. We've got so much. We're about to have so much fun. And if you miss it, you're going to be kicking yourself for the rest of the weekend. So please, everybody, sit back, get comfy, raise those glasses, and park those asses because the latest episode of the Sports Syndicate podcast starts. I guess it's clobbering time. Now.
I'm Malshon, the same day they signed Tory. The Smith beside me, yes. My wrist shine, yes. At all times, catch all signs. Shots fly, no Anakin. Olive Garden, rap outfit inside Ramekin. Fucking breadcrumbs, turn breadsticks when that text spit. Cause that marinara soak you. Safety off, you ain't Joku.
And just like that, we're back. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Sports Syndicate podcast on a very special night. Because if you don't know this, I'm gonna school you right now. A few weeks ago, it was my man's birthday, and a few days ago, it was my birthday. So welcome to a very special edition of the Sports Syndicate podcast, the Birthday Bash.
Fuck yeah! Play.
There we go. There we go. Yeah,
Damn.
let's get it going.
You're smoking and drinking, my man.
Fuck yeah, it's a party, y'all.
Let me get my drink. Let's go. Yeah.
If I knew it was gonna be this kind of party, I'd have stuck my dick in the mashed potatoes.
You went there.
Yeah.
I went
Wow.
Beastie Boys. Yeah,
All
I
right,
did.
I'm out of here. See you guys.
Yep, I gotta go.
And we're done.
I
And the
know.
show's been canceled.
I'm showing my age. My bad, y'all. I appreciate y'all for hanging in there. But hey, let's get to the intro, shall we? Because obviously, as every week, we got some Philly fans in the house.
Yes, sir.
There's
He's
South
back.
Jersey's finest right here. My main man and main co-host for this show, as it turns
Woo,
out.
woo.
Nasty Nick, what is
Nasty
up, my
Nick.
dude?
Okay,
What is
okay.
going on? What
Good,
is
man.
happening?
That's his Philly name.
Yeah. Hey, man,
Steve
this
Nick.
is really cool to get the guys together. Sunday night, football night. We're talking sports. I can't wait.
Right,
gonna be
this is
fun.
Perfect. And then, of course,
Get those
there's
mashed
me.
potatoes.
There's me, not DDP, but the biggest psycho is South Philly, the man that bleeds Kelly Green, myself, Dom,
There you
and then
go.
next to me, I
Hell
got
of an
my
intro.
I got my Pisces brother
Right.
from another mother. I got this man is the host of the Clark Street Wrestling Podcast. He's a fellow league member like the four of us. He is, I gotta say it, I don't care if it's wrestling or not. He is the tribal chief of podcasting, the one and
You hear that,
only
Bruce?
heel dad, Devin. What is happening, my man?
Oh, what's up? Oh, the applause. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I must
Gotta give it
say,
up for him.
first, I want to, salute to you, both guys just holding down the fort, because I know they're like, hey, that's the guy that was on the picture. Oh, yeah, I finally showed up. I'm here.
OG pilot
Yeah,
host
he's
of,
back.
of Sports
Right,
Syndicate. I forgot to
right.
mention that one. Wow.
Yeah.
How did that skip my fucking mind? Oh, right, I've been drinking.
The
Never mind.
one.
But you
Never
guys
mind.
been holding it down, just spitting good knowledge. So I appreciate that, man. But it's fun. I'm glad to be back. Excited. Pisces Brothers birthday celebration. Let's go.
So happy to have you back, man. And speaking of happy to have him back, my brother from another mother is here. He is the high class host. He is the one and only Coach Brucey, baby. What is happening, my dude? We are so glad this is like your third friggin' appearance on this show.
Right,
I
I've
gotta
had
give
more
it up.
appearances this year than Devin.
Y'all are tied, actually. He had 3. You had 3.
No,
Y'all are
it's great to be
tied.
back. I enjoy coming on and I enjoy shooting the shit and talking sports. It's fun. I don't get to do it that often. So
Absolutely. It just feels right on a Sunday. And I'm gonna go back to something that Brucey brought up. Ironically, at the end of our wrestling show, baseball actually came to an agreement. Nikki and I were talking about how we
Yeah.
were gonna miss some series and all that stuff the last week, and then we took some extra time because my birthday hit. So we haven't been back since. But while we were gone, apparently they came to an agreement and baseball's coming back. So I think that deserves a round of applause. I'm sure there's some people out there that's just happy to see that shit. I know Brucey is, so I'm gonna head to him first. Bruce, give us your feelings on the upcoming MLB season, the return, the whole nine.
Listen, for those of you that are watching baseball now that did not get to watch in the 90s, sit down, buckle up, and enjoy yourself for some amazing friggin' baseball. We're going to have home runs. We're going to have no-hitters.
Yeah.
It's going to be a free-for-all again. It's going to be Roger Clemens and Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa all over again, and Barry Bonds all over again.
Chick's going to be digging that long ball once again.
I'm just happy that, first series of the year, biggest rivalry in baseball, Boston versus New York, get to open the season in a 3-game series, I believe. So I'm pretty stoked about that one. Come on, Beantown.
Of course, you go Red Sox, Yankees. I'll let the Cubs fan go next. Devin, what are you looking forward? How do you feel about this season?
Represent right there. There we go.
I'm
just glad we finally got
some
Cubs baseball, man. I was getting worried, Hell, it's in our podcast name, Clark Street Wrestling. That is North Side, represent Chicago Cubs, North Sider all the way. Even my wife is a North Sider, right?
Yes, sir.
So you kept it regional too. I got a wife from South Philly. And we both got kids named DJ. We both Pisces. I don't think we've talked about it off air. I don't think we ever said it on the show.
No, we haven't. No, we haven't. But yeah, I'm just excited to finally get some baseball, sit back, relax, have a beer, watch some. Yeah, to Bruce's point, they got the extra rest in, so it plays a part in sports. Every time we go through like a little lockout, it happened in NBA when just athletes get a little extra rest.
Yep.
And we're gonna see, it's gonna be home runs out the ass.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, so I know he kind of felt left out in the last episode with my man Dan and everything. So Nikki,
Danny boy,
fire away on this season,
and
homie.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but DH is universal. It's both NL and AL, so that's going to be very entertaining.
Yes, it is.
Very entertaining as well. I'm just glad, like you guys said, it's back. I mean, this is not good. Again, Bruce, last time you were on, we talked about putting on the business hat for the MLB. They need it back. I mean, they are struggling. They are now trying to get on every network. I know it's on Peacock. What? I know it's on Amazon. What? I mean, they are trying to get the word out. And this Hulu, lockout.
What?
Yeah.
Fox. What? ESPN. What?
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. And I think, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but Joe Buck is no longer with Fox. So
nope.
That'll be interesting too to see what goes up, what happens there. So yeah, good. It's back. Baseball needs this. Let's get going, baby. Phillies, baby.
Fuck yeah. What's good, Getcho? Yes, Chi-Town is in the building. I work with a lot of people from the Chi. I work with a lot of people from Brooklyn, but those places hold our podcast down. So I always show them love when I get the chance.
There you go.
I dig it.
And as far as the baseball season, I'm glad they worked something out. I'm glad it's back. I mean, we're coming off a season where Bryce Harper finally started to rake in a Phillies jersey, and then they were talking about canceling shit. I was like, really? Like, that dude struggled during the pandemic, and then came back, balled out, and now you're gonna have him sitting around. Yeah. God damn it! But I ain't gotta worry about that no more. So it's exciting. I'm happy for it. I'll be honest, I don't watch a ton of baseball because them games take forever, y'all. But with more home runs and no steroids, they might be a little shorter.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, they're up 15. There's definitely no extra innings tonight.
Yeah. And again, put the business hat on. Yep. That's a great decision. I know steroids and Hall of Fame and all that. Is it really, if you ain't cheating, you're not trying. But it makes sense. To an extent, it makes sense. I mean, if you're going to take steroids and ruin your body, okay, I understand it. But again, business hat. It's more entertaining.
Wait, did he just say if you're not cheating, you're not trying?
There we go. A little late there, Dommy boy.
I thought I heard it. I just
go.
didn't want to interrupt you too quick.
Well, you did anyway, so.
My bad. At least I'm letting you talk.
Yeah. Good point. I forget. Go back to the host. There you go, brother. I don't remember. Cheers.
But either way, yes, cheers. Either way, the I got a drinker is bad luck. Season should be fire, and this week the NFL caught fire with all these moves, all this, and it felt like honestly the first domino out of all of them was Aaron Rodgers saying that he was returning to the Packers. Like that was the very first move where everything just seemed to fall into place at that point. So we're going to start there. Like Rodgers returns. There were reports he got a $200 million extension. And he came out on his own Twitter and said, I don't know where you guys got this contract shit from. I ain't signed nothing. So that's a little bit up in the air, but we do know he's going to return. It's also been said they're going to franchise tag Devontae Adams. So obviously the Packers are going to have a lot of money tied up in these two dudes. I'm going to start with, let's go to Brucey first. Fuck it.
Okay.
What
Wow.
do you think of the moves bringing these two back and putting possibly this much money into those two guys? Where does that leave the Packers going forward?
I honestly, it leaves them in a good place. I mean, Aaron Rodgers has choked in the playoffs since the year after they won the Super Bowl. You know, does that mean he can't win the big one? Hell no, that doesn't mean that. That just means he hasn't won in the playoffs. Right. If they really re-signed him for $200 million for 5 years or 2 years or whatever the hell it was, it's not worth it. He's getting up there in age. You know, that'd be one of those Belichick moves where it's like, is it worth keeping him at this age? Obviously, the Packers thought that he's worth it. You know, Devontae Adams. You know, he's a key person for. Brady just said he's coming back. Oh,
you for real?
Oh,
did he really now?
My
God.
not
hear that.
Did wifey give him the green light?
That they were making the push for it, but I did not hear that he was coming back.
But so, breaking news from our sources, Tim King. Thank you.
Thank you, Timmy. Bruce totally forgot what he was talking about now because he's just
I got excited. Is he coming back to New England? No, Mac Jones is awesome. Mac Jones is great. We're good. But no, I think it's a smart move because Green Bay doesn't really have another quarterback developed to take Rodgers' place. They just don't have no one yet. If they had someone like they did with Favre and Rodgers, they knew what they had in Rodgers behind Favre, so they let Favre walk and they put Rodgers in. Look what happened. You know, they don't have someone like that behind Rodgers. Wow. They never stuck with that guy. So, yeah, that's how I feel about that.
Yeah, it is official, according to Tim King, and I just saw confirmed on Tom Brady's Twitter's
and
page.
I quote, these past 2 months, I've realized my place is still on the field and not in the stands. That time will come. But it's not now. I love my teammates and my supportive family. They make it all possible. I'm coming back for my 23rd season in Tampa.
Wow.
Unfinished business.
Gronk said he was going to bring him back.
And then he finishes it by saying, unfinished business, let's fucking go.
Oh, see, Breezy. He said he ain't done.
He back.
Still got a lot left in the tank.
I mean,
there you go. All right, Mark.
Switching gears back to Rodgers a little bit. Like I know somebody brought up, Favre and then bringing Rodgers in and he played well. So it was like, well, maybe we can let this dude go. They tried to have that moment this season. Like Rodgers couldn't make it. It was like, okay, we're going to start Jordan Love. We're going to see what he can do. And they started Jordan Love and they saw what he could do. Yeah. And they went, Aaron, you got to come back. You got to come back. If you've seen this motherfucker, he ain't ready. You got to come back. We're sorry we drafted him. Can you please come back?
Yeah, they are sorry.
So, I mean, it's a situation where had Jordan Love maybe played a little better, they may not be throwing allegedly $50 million a year at this guy. That's my take on the whole. And I think Devontae is more important than Aaron Rodgers at this point.
Yeah.
because he might be the best receiver in the league. I mean, there's a couple of guys that are close to his level, but he might be arguably the best
Bless
receiver
you.
in the league.
Thank you. Well,
Bless you. So to make him,
but thank you.
to franchise him and maybe piss him off is probably a bad idea. But maybe he'll go along with it just to get Aaron back and have one more.
Yeah.
Who am I missing here? Did the tribal chief get in on
Nah,
this yet?
I did not.
No.
Me
Did
either.
not get my words in.
Okay, Devin, go ahead, man.
We
got
bless the
whole
table.
Rogers Adams package.
But I don't think Devontae cares about the franchise. He's actually getting $20 million for this year for the franchise. So
He's got 20 million reasons.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
you know,
He's
what I'm
good.
saying? So he's good. He's just waiting on Aaron Rodgers just to sign and deliver so we can get this thing going. Because right now they're just the ultimate duo. During the season, just the playoffs is when they have to prove something. They can get over that hump. Because I think they got the talent, they got the weapons. I don't know. Maybe it's a mental thing, but we just have to see going forward, though.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't get much right on this show, Dom, but I got this right.
I fuck up. I never admit it. He keeps it real.
I got this right. I knew he was going to come back. I knew they were going to franchise tag Adams. It just makes sense. You can't go back-to-back MVPs and not be wanted from that organization, and they need him. I mean, as much as he is older and he's, can't really lace him up in the playoffs, he's still Aaron Rodgers. He's still an MVP back-to-back. It makes so much sense. There's, a lot of money in this deal. It just makes sense. So I'm loving it, and it's they're going to have to do something else, when it comes to the offensive line. As much as, it's all about Aaron Rodgers and the running game.
For last year.
Yeah. In the running game. A lot of injuries.
Like, they got to hope they can get Bakhtiari healthy again because he didn't play most of the season, and some of the backups they had got hurt. So they might get healthy there by default because people just come back.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Eagles with Carson Wentz, even though I'm getting ahead of myself. Like, their line was guys off the street by the end of the year. Like, not even practice squad.
Yeah.
Like, guys that worked in garages and shit.
Yeah.
And then they came back this year, and most of their starters had returned. And they looked a hell of a lot better than last year. So I think Green Bay is in for that. And, man, now that Brady's come back, I'm like, I didn't have it on the rundown. I'm thinking about Tampa. Like, they franchised Godwin.
Yeah.
They still got Mike Evans.
They still got Gronk.
They're probably going to have to do something with Leonard Fournette, I think, in the offseason. But they immediately become a contender, like, where you thought, oh, man, between Trask and Blaine Gabbert, like, that's what you're going with? But now Brady's back. You're like, oh, shit.
Right? Like, oh, okay, they're good again.
Yeah, I mean, and
they'll make the playoffs and run for the Super Bowl again.
Yeah, pretty much. If
will.
it's Brady, they'll at least make it to the playoffs. You got to believe that. But
I was just surprised in the way he lost that he wasn't going to come back. I mean, now it makes sense. I mean, you got to – if you're a legend, if you're the best quarterback to ever play the game, you got to go off.
Though?
You got to –
should have waited till like April 1st. Like, hey, y'all, I'm retiring. April Fools.
Yes.
But, I mean, the only thing that the Packers have lost, at least to this point, because we don't really get free agency until next week, is their offensive coordinator, Nathaniel Hackett, who took the Broncos head coaching job in the hopes that they could convince Aaron Rodgers off that just to come to them. And then he goes back to Green Bay. And the next thing you know, Denver has put together a humongous package for the Seahawks. And they grab Russell Wilson.
Boom. Look at that segue, baby.
Yeah, that might be one of the best I ever did. I ain't going to lie.
That was a pretty good segue.
That almost made me look like a professional. I'm not, but it almost made me look. I mean, they literally went out and traded Noah Fant, Drew Lock, 4 draft picks at least to get Russell Wilson from the Seahawks. After the Seahawks had said, like, no, we're committed to Russ. We're committed to Pete Carroll. We're moving forward with this team. We're going to build a winner. And then it was like, psych, he's out.
And now they got Drew Lock.
right? Good luck with that. Watch Geno Smith beat him out in a quarterback competition.
Yeah.
Watch. Give it what does training camp start like July? Give it till July. He'll lose that job.
I mean, not only did Seattle get rid of Russell Wilson, they got rid of
Bobby Wagner.
linebacker? Bobby Wagner as well.
Yo, Eagles, you need to call that man. You ain't got a linebacker worth a shit.
Hey, Bill.
And that is one of the elite linebackers in the NFL. You need to call that man yesterday. Like, yo,
Bill, get on
what
the
you
horn.
want on the check, homie? I got you. I mean, we got all these converted safeties and shit. God, they suck. Bobby Wagner would be a huge upgrade. But getting back to Russell Wilson, I know he goes into a division where, you look at the quarterbacks around him and they are all good. Like Herbert is young and up and coming. Derek Carr, we know what he's capable of. Pat Mahomes. And I know people are saying, well, look at the competition around him. Look at the competition around him. Do y'all remember the NFC West since Russell Wilson came in? Sometimes he wasn't even on the best team in the NFC West, and he was still in Super Bowls.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't worried about that part. The part that I guess everybody should be concerned with is how does Russell Wilson fit in on this team? And to me, I mean, you look around and they got young talent all over the Broncos offense. Like they got at least 3 wide receivers. I know they traded Noah Fant, but they got at least 2 other tight ends that are worth a damn. They got 2 running backs. They shore up that offensive line and get Russ. Damn.
Do something.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Bruce. What do you think the limit is for the Broncos now that they've made this deal?
The
Bruce.
I don't know. I don't know how Russ is going to do, honestly. You said it, Dom. There is a young team there. A young team that doesn't know how to win is what they have. A young team that doesn't know how to win, and you bring in Russell Wilson, and everyone's expecting this man to fix it this year. It ain't going to happen. He'll have a decent season. He'll put his numbers up. He's not fixing it this year. Maybe next year or the year after that, they'll be where they need to be if Russ works out and can stick around and put up with the bullshit of a lot of young players that, are young and still don't know the game that well.
I get what you're saying. I think it was last time Brucey was on, we were talking about Denver, and he was like, nobody wants to come in and follow Peyton Manning. Well, how about the guy that beat Peyton Manning in the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
All right.
It's going to be exciting. No, go ahead.
What? Nick, you about to say something? Go ahead,
my
bro.
tribal chief, Pisces brother. What you got Russ with the Broncos? How do you think the fit's going to work? What do you think they could do next year?
I love the trade because, it's some veteran leadership that I can see, Russ deliver. But Bruce makes a good point. I don't know if he can get it done within one football season. I could see this take a couple years for the structure to finally cement in, and then we can start, moving forward. But I love the trades though, because they needed somebody besides who was it? Who was the other quarterback? Can't think of his name.
Teddy Bridgewater.
Right? Because he always got hurt. So
it's a shame too, because I love Teddy.
He was good. He was just a fragile QB. So I think this is the better look for Denver.
Yeah, I'm with you. I
mean, he's not doing too bad for himself right now.
No, he ain't doing bad at all. I'm just saying, I think Carolina is still kicking themselves in the ass for getting rid of Teddy and going with Sam Darnold. Clearly, that man still sees ghosts. That's all I'm going to say about that. But we're going to switch back to Russ, and we're going to let my man Nick jump in here. Take us home. Russell Wilson's fit in Denver, and where do you see him going next year?
I'm going to actually say something a little different since everybody said the same, everything that I agree with. So what the hell is Seattle going to do? I mean, they got rid of Russell. I mean, they're in a real rebuilding phase here. Yeah. Is Pete Carroll going to stay? I mean, it's just crazy. They have a great wide receiving crew when they're together, when they click. But for the Broncos, since, this is a topic, I think it's good. I agree with Bruce, young team. I think they're going to, need a few years, maybe 1 or 2 seasons to get things going. But young is good. I mean, look at the Eagles. We surprised ourselves this year with how young we were, and it just
And I think
we're getting there.
I
Go
think when
ahead.
the Eagles came up, the two of us both said, like, if they went and they made a deal for Russell Wilson, I wouldn't be mad about it because you're bringing that
Yeah.
veteran in on a young team that's on a rise, and he will take them to that next level. And I could see Denver being that same type of team. Maybe they might be in better shape than we are right now, like before they got Russ.
Yeah.
Because we had to
Well, who do
have,
they got?
we had to have a tremendous we had to have a tremendous performance from like Jalen Hurts just to be one game over 500 and make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Where they had an injury riddled Teddy and they still went 7-9. So like, or 8-9, whatever the fuck it is in 17 games.
Yeah. And what's
So-
crazy too is Wilson's only 33. Like,
Yeah.
what the hell?
Yeah.
He has so much left in the tank.
Oh yeah,
Didn't he make the Pro Bowl this year, or was that last year? But still, his stats were really good, even though it was a down year. Go ahead.
No, I got you. Even
Get my
Dan the
shit in.
Man is saying that number 9 pick is going to be interesting for Seattle.
Thank you.
But so that's a big deal. And Seattle, I don't know, man. Like even last year, it felt like they were fighting not to rebuild. Like they were just sitting there trying to get Russ killed. Trying to find a running game, and all the running backs are headed to IR. DK
Yeah.
Metcalf slumped. That defense damn sure ain't the Legion of Boom anymore. Like they ain't been in a minute.
No.
But it looked like they were on
The
their
running
way back
back.
when
Yeah.
they got Jamal Adams and Carlos Dunlap 2 years ago, and then last year they just fell flat. So
Yeah.
I think
it's
they've been
Pete
fighting
Carroll.
the rebuild, and they've said Pete Carroll's job is safe, but they also said they were rolling with Russ this season, and then look what happened. So
Yeah, even Carroll said that. Obviously, I know that's what you're supposed to do
if
as a
you're a
head coach, but
Seahawks
still.
fan right now, you're probably like
Yeah.
halfway under your bed, like I want to look,
Yeah.
and you're just waiting for the next shoe to drop, like Pete Carroll's fired or some shit.
They got the Kraken,
like-
don't they?
They do.
Yeah. Maybe
You-
they'll become
y'all better
hockey
be watching
fans.
them.
Yeah.
Go be hockey fans or something.
The
You still got
Kraken.
You still got the Storm in the WNBA. You could be checking them out. I don't know. It's gonna be a
Yeah.
tough year, Seattle. I apologize, but y'all have had some good ones. I ain't that
Yeah.
upset about it. Y'all act like y'all ain't done nothing. Like you gave Marshawn Lynch the ball, you would have had 2 Super Bowls. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I don't know if you guys remember, but
I don't
when they
mind.
brought in Peyton Manning, did they have a lot? I mean, they had only I can think of like
They had
Eric
a-
Decker. Like who
They
else?
had a young team. They had Eric Decker.
Yeah.
They had
Then again-
Demaryius Thomas.
Oh,
young
yeah.
Demarius Thomas, and then they
God
bless
bless
in
his
Wes
soul.
Welker. Yeah,
Right?
and then they
Yeah.
brought in
Yeah.
Wes Welker.
I forget they had a
Okay,
guy
so maybe
at
they're
tight end
still-
who was kind of young and blew up when Peyton Manning came in, and then they brought Dallas Clark in on top of that because he
Dallas
was one of
Clark,
Peyton's
yeah.
guys. So if Seattle can do something, if Denver can
Denver.
do something like that, with the young team they have, and then maybe bring in a few little pieces to go.
Yeah, maybe they're
around
not done.
the core, because they might not be done. They they got their quarterback. That doesn't mean they're finished. They still got draft picks. They still got free agency, and who knows? Maybe
Yeah.
I think right now they're probably the second best team in that division behind Kansas City.
What's the
Because
cap room look
Raiders
like? Do you guys
have
know?
always been. I don't know exactly. Especially, I don't even know if they're paying Russ.
Tim,
this
can
year
you
or
please
not.
tell us? Thank you.
Tim, Dan, you got anything? Use
Cap
the live
space for
chat.
Denver?
Fuck it.
Live chat moderator right now.
Well,
Right.
I mean, you got to remember that Jarvis Landry's out there too now.
Ah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
true.
Cleveland gave him the okay to test the free agency,
Jarvis,
and
yeah.
there was
there are
an
still
article that already came out that said it was either Seattle and New England or Carolina and New England that were highly interested in signing Jarvis Landry.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Yes,
gonna,
please.
That's definitely going to be
I
something
will be
we'll
happy
keep an
with
eye
that.
out on. He's out there. There's a lot of good wide receivers out there, including Allen Robinson. I know Devin knows him from the Bears. But speaking of Bears,
That Bears. That Bears.
speaking of Bears, this all seemed to happen in one day. Like Rodgers re-signed, and then Russ got traded. The next thing you know, Khalil Mack is on his way out of Chicago.
Yeah.
He was
Who's the
headed
pack?
to the Los Angeles Chargers for, at least from what they said, prime draft compensation, which
Yeah.
Devin told me was what, like a second and a sixth rounder or
Second
something
in the
like that?
sixth round,
Nuts.
yeah.
For what, the top 3 linebacker in the NFL.
Right,
Get
one
the
of the best
fuck
pass
outta
rushers.
here.
Like, I don't know about that.
That's a
So,
slap in the face.
I mean, for the Chargers, it's a great deal because you can put
Hell
this man
yeah.
next to Joey Bosa, and now
Exactly.
who you
Yeah.
going to double team. So
Right.
it's great. But I'm gonna start out with Devin on this one. Give me the impact that this leaves on the Chicago Bears side.
Oh man. Well, I'll say this: like, given Khalil Mack, recently his performance was declining, but still top tier linebacker. Still putting in work. So he was still, bringing that part to the game. But last season, I'm like, I wouldn't mind if they wanted to trade Khalil Mack to get extra
Right.
picks for Justin Fields if they was going to go that route. So I had no problem with that. So
Yeah.
when I first got wind, I'm like, oh, they're trading? Okay, cool. I'm fine with that. I heard little people, they saying like, no, fuck that. I'm like, man, whatever. And then I find out, I'm like, oh, what we got in return for the trade, second round and sixth round. I'm like, what? No.
Yeah,
Might as well just keep him.
yeah.
Right.
Just might as well keep him. Like, no, hell
Like,
no.
nothing
man.
next year.
They
nothing
gave
next-
away more
that's
to
it.
get him.
Yeah, they gave more to the Raiders to bring him in.
No, man.
And
And
now
that doesn't
it's
help.
like-
That really doesn't help Justin Fields too, man. That's what I think
No,
about it.
not
Like,
at all.
it doesn't help him
Not
draft
at
wise. So it was a bad trade. It shouldn't have made it. If
I feel
that
you.
was Chargers' offer, you should have been like, kick rocks.
I feel you, because it's like with the Russ trade. I mean, Denver wins because they get their guys. Seattle wins because they just dumped a hella salary cap, got a bunch of draft picks, maybe somebody they can use as their starting quarterback and rebuild. But with this trade, it's like, yeah, Khalil Mack going to the Chargers makes total sense for the Chargers to want to do that. But then when you see what they got back, you're like, you didn't include a player, you didn't, no pick for next season, nothing. I don't know. Let's go to Nick. What do you think
Horrible
about this
trade.
trade?
Yeah. Obviously, they're not the same position, but this reminds me of Fletcher Cox last year. We didn't know what to do with him. He's a great guy. He won the Super Bowl with us. He'll ever be enriched in the Eagles' history.
Yeah,
It's just time for him to go, and I think
and
that's
he's on the
exactly.
market this year too.
It was time for him to. No, it's fine. I'm used to it. It's time for him to go. It was time for him to go, and kind of like Khalil Mack,
He works
it was time for It was time for him to go. As much as the trade doesn't make sense, sometimes you need something to change the environment, something to change the atmosphere. And the Bears, let's be honest, like it's time to change. And I think this is a great subtraction. I was going to say addition, a great subtraction to
Addition by subtraction, maybe.
There you go, tic tac toe, baby.
I've been working with him. I feel him. I know what he's trying to say.
Yes. When I look in the ceiling, that means I need help. So, yeah. I mean, again, Devin, you said it. I mean, it sounds like a broken record, but I agree. It's time. It's time to move on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel you. All right, Percy, what do you think of this whole trade? How does this work out? Do you think it's crappy? Just give us your feelings. Just
Honestly, everything I want to say has been said. It was stupid for the Bears. It was a horrible trade for the Bears. San Diego's going to make out. They're going to be able to challenge LA this year. It's for the rival of that friggin' area. For the stadium. It's good for San Diego all around because they've got a solid team and they made a solid run at the end of the year last year, and they're only going to get better.
Yeah.
Maybe they can finally make it to an AFC championship or even a Super Bowl.
Hey,
True.
hey, Justin
True.
Herbert on the other side.
Right. Justin Herbert.
Think about that.
They re-signed Mike Williams. They still got Justin Herbert. Austin
Joey
Eckler has
Bosa.
been amazing. Joey Bosa on the other side.
Jesus.
Khalil Mack.
Yeah, he ain't stopping that.
I mean,
nice weather, man. Cali weather.
if I'm the Chargers owner right now, I'm giving my GM a raise. But at the same time, I'm trying to look at this as I'm trying to find a silver lining for the Bears fans because I got one on my show, and I'm thinking, Khalil
They're used
Mack
to it.
missed a good chunk of that season last year, and you know what? Y'all still had a decent pass rush, so maybe, just maybe, they got the new GM, as Daniel said, who was trying to clean up a little bit of a mess from the old regime. Thought, well, we weren't so bad with the pass rush without him. If we can get something for him, add to this offense and help Justin Fields develop, then fuck it, let's do it. And I guess it makes sense that way, but at the same time, like I know I'm reaching for that just to try to help Bears fans out because I love y'all. And you're right, Dan. Like Quinn looked damn good with Mac out.
He
So
did.
so with him in the forefront, like that could be that could be enough to make up, and then you get some picks. Maybe you come up with another pass rusher or come up with something to help Justin Fields on that offense because Lord knows that boy needs it.
He needs help on the line, man.
Now, a team with a dope line and a shitty quarterback is the Cleveland Browns, and it looks like the rich just got richer because somehow they managed to pull Amari Cooper from the Dallas Cowboys for a 5th and 6th round
peanuts.
pick. Like if Khalil Mack, if you didn't get enough from the Chargers for Khalil Mack, the Cowboys damn sure didn't get enough for Amari Cooper.
They gave They gave away their number 1 receiver for peanuts.
Yeah.
Their number 1 receiver for peanuts.
Peanut.
Hey, we'll give you our top receiver for a pack of gum. Sold.
Yeah. They're like, hey, we want your Pepsi machine. We want your Pepsi machine and your peanut maker, and let's get the fuck out of here.
Can we get the popcorn machine too? No. Okay, we'll just take that.
We'll take the peanut vendors. Come on. Like, really, Jerry? Really?
Yeah, seriously, Jerry. Like, this has to go back. This has to go back to Amari Cooper running his mouth towards the end of the season about how their offense wasn't as dynamic as he should be, and he wasn't involved as much. I know they made it out like it wasn't a big deal, but when you see what they got in return for him, maybe it's a big deal. That's just my take on the situation. But Nikki, give us your thoughts on Amari Cooper heading over to Cleveland. Like, are they trying to become the new Cincinnati?
No, I think it's great for Cleveland. I just, like Bruce said, I mean, the rich gets richer. The Cowboys did not care. They wanted him out. I think he's at that point where it's, he could help a team like Cleveland, but he's not really doing much for the Cowboys. And again, the Cowboys have so much money. They do not care. They're probably going to sign one of these top wide receivers that we talked about during the episode or the show. So, oh, no, absolutely. They have to. They have to replace him somehow.
The thing about it is when you look at the Cowboys roster, they have so many big money deals. Like Amari was just one with Zeke and Dak and a bunch of other guys. Yeah. And eventually, even with the salary cap coming up, it's like, we can't keep all these fucking people.
Yeah, but
they make more money than practically anybody in the NFL, but that salary cap is the same for them as it is for everybody else.
Yeah. But I still think they need to replace Amari Cooper as much as, he really didn't do much last year. I mean, he was okay first couple games. No,
not really.
He was
not really.
He was okay the first couple games, and then other than that, it was injuries, and it's just like you said, with the whole issue with not getting the ball. He's a veteran wide receiver, so on his way out. I mean, to the Browns. I think they need that. They need to replace Odell. I don't know if it's going to replace Odell, but it's definitely going to do something. Maybe this, off season he'll get better, healthier, if that's even the issue. I don't know. But I'm happy for the Browns. They need something here. So good for them.
Yeah. I mean, the Browns were the original Bengals, right? Like they made it all the way to the AFC Championship game and lost 2 years ago, and then they fell flat this year. So now they're trying, and then they see the Bengals jump by them, so they're like, "Well, shit, we can do that too," And as far as the Cowboys, this would not be the first time that Jerry made one of these short-sighted decisions.
Yep.
Yeah, you're trading Amari Cooper, but then you also got Michael Gallup as a free agent. You have a couple other banged up wide receivers that you're not sure about. So,
yeah,
next thing you know, you might be missing 2 of your top wide receivers going into next year. And then what do you do?
I can see Landry going to the Cowboys, right?
I don't have maybe.
Yeah.
I don't have an answer for that, but maybe the tribal chief does. Why don't you weigh in on the Amari Cooper situation here? This trade. I mean, I think it's pretty clear the Browns won this one, right?
They did. Especially in the the picks that Cowboys got.
The 5th and 6th. A 5th and 6th.
Jerry didn't give a fuck. He was like,
Jerry never gives a fuck. Let's be
he's like,
real.
really, I got CD Lamb. He got over 1,100 yards last season.
Yeah.
You only did about 800. Amari Cooper. You always hurt, so
Yeah.
I think CD Lamb will be ready by next season. Trade your ass. 5th and 6th round. There we go.
That's crazy.
Gallup, he didn't really do anything. I think maybe just over 400 yards of offense from him.
Yeah.
So I think they're putting all their eggs in the basket for CD Lamb to be their top one receiver for Cowboys. But hell, I'll give it to Cleveland, man. They definitely got a quality, star for Amari Cooper. So just see what type of QB they get for Amari Cooper, though.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, that's the biggest thing because Brucey brought something to me about the Browns.
Let's hear it, Bruce.
That blew my mind.
Jeff, this came from Jeff Simmons at ESPN.
Oh, I know.
Source is the Cleveland Browns are finalizing a trade that will send Baker Mayfield, Kareem Hunt, and 2 future first-round picks to the Houston Texans for quarterback Deshaun Watson.
That's it? Just Watson?
Can I just be real for a minute? Maybe they shouldn't have passed up on him and drafted Baker Mayfield in the fucking first place.
Yeah.
They probably have a Super Bowl by now.
That's insane.
I don't want to nitpick. I'm not complaining. Okay, maybe I am complaining, but I'm also critiquing.
Yeah.
You had the chance to draft him, and you took Baker Mayfield, and the Texans got Deshaun Watson well below him.
Yeah.
And he has been far better from day one.
Yeah. Well,
so now they're just like, hey, we'll give you everybody. You can take Baker. You can take Kareem Hunt. Hey, do you want Jarvis Landry? Because he requested a trade when we got Amari Cooper. Fuck it, we'll throw him in too. I mean, god damn. But it at least it makes sense because we just got word that that Deshaun Watson will not be charged criminally for these happy ending massage parlor incidents that he was in allegedly. I don't want to get sued. I ain't got no money. Don't sue me. Allegedly for the happy endings, but he can still be charged civilly. So at least he's not facing any criminal charges, but he could be shelling some money out, and that would in turn end up getting him suspended by the NFL as well. So you have to think about that. But even then, I mean, Cleveland's looking at it like Baker Mayfield missed like 6 games last year, did show up for 3. So if they wanted to suspend Deshaun Watson, he'll probably be there longer than Baker.
Yeah, it's a good point.
I don't know. Let's let the tribal chief, get his thoughts out on this Deshaun Watson to Cleveland trade. Like, if this shit goes down, what would your first thought be?
Scary because that offensive line. That's plain and simple. You
That
give
running
Deshaun Watson time to throw. Oh my God, his vision is unbelievable, and he still got the arm. And plus, he had all this time off too. Going through all those legal issues, so he's coming back super healthy, and hopefully in football shape too. Even if he got a little bit of rust, it'll probably be in no time to just shake that off. Right. But, I think this is going to be if it goes through, it's going to be a crazy trade. So, 2 first rounds too. Shit. But for Watson?
There's even talk that there's a report on ESPN right now that says Carolina is making a quote aggressive offer to get Deshaun Watson as well. I don't know what could be more aggressive than this offer that sources have said Cleveland is putting together.
Because we all know that Carolina ain't got a quarterback to give them.
No.
Yeah.
At least
point,
Baker,
they've
at least
talked
Baker still
about-
has a name.
Yeah.
They've talked about entertaining, trading Christian McCaffrey, but like,
Jeez.
are you going to get Deshaun Watson for Christian McCaffrey as the picks when the Browns are going to turn around and offer you all this in return? And they
Yeah.
have it to give up. Like, you give up Baker Mayfield for Deshaun Watson, okay, but like you're giving up Kareem Hunt, right? You still got Nick Chubb.
Yep.
Dearness Johnson had a great
Yeah.
season for them last
He looked
year.
good.
And then they
yeah.
got that kid Felton, who's like a third down back who can get in the ground game too.
They
So
got a
they
good
had
line,
4
good
running
running
backs
back
last
depth.
year.
Yeah.
You can give up one of them. You
Yeah.
could turn around and say, like I said, hey, you can take Jarvis Landry too if you want him. Apparently, he don't want to be here, so fuck him. Like you could offer all that. Where Carolina, what are they going to offer you? Like, we'll give you
McCaffrey,
Christian McCaffrey and Robbie
He's
Anderson
done.
and some first-round picks.
Yeah, I think so,
That
too.
don't match up.
Yeah.
The only place McCaffrey can revive his career is underneath Bill Belichick because he just seems
The
to make
XFL.
small white dudes really famous.
Well, you know the trade history with the running backs and the Texans. They're not going to do that at all.
Yeah, no.
Remember
Yeah.
David Johnson, y'all. That's all I'm saying.
I mean,
They're
was it-
like, we still got the receipt. Can we get DeAndre back, please?
Yeah.
I think the last good running back Houston had was Arian Foster.
Arian Foster.
Yeah,
their
he was
last
decent.
good
yeah.
running back.
Yeah.
That was their last good running back.
That dude
That was a
was-
long ass time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
He was
Matt
better
Schaub,
than
Andre
decent.
Johnson ago.
Yeah, he had a season where he was going after the Russian record.
He really did. He really did. And the all-purpose yardage, Marshall Falk.
Go feed.
Mhm.
Kof. Every
live,
freaking
baby.
dude.
Ah, baby.
Kofi's here. He don't even watch sports, but he
Whining,
shows up anyway. I
dining.
love you, fam. Dirty heels. But yeah, if it came down to the two and I'm Cleveland's GM, I'm like, seriously, Carolina? No.
Yeah.
Unless Cleveland backs out at the last minute and then be like, okay, Carolina, we'll give you Deshaun. Just get him off our books. Like, we're good. He don't want to play here anyway. So yeah, send us whatever.
Well,
But-
I mean,
but-
even if you think about it too, if they back down now, what do you think Baker's going to do? You know, he's already a prima donna. These are rumors. If they're even a little bit 95% true, he ain't playing all the way. He's not playing 100%. So he's got to go.
He's packing it in.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like I feel what you're saying there, Nick. But at the same time, I'm thinking about Baker Mayfield, and I'm just like, man, ain't nobody care how Baker Mayfield's gonna feel. We've had to listen to this motherfucker bitch and whine and complain and play subpar football on a great team for a couple of years now. I don't give a fuck what he thinks.
He's
Yeah,
a
no.
backup QB though.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what
Like,
that's
he'd
his lane.
Yep.
You know what would be funny? If this trade did go through with Houston, I'm almost worried that he would lose the starting job to dude that's already there, Davis Smith.
Yeah. Now, what's the issue? Houston does not want Watson, or Watson does not want to be there.
Well,
Watson
Watson's
does not
been
want
wanted
Houston.
out.
Okay.
No, he's wanted out for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
After-
like
'cause
for
there
instance, last year.
Well, stop
last
going to
year
the
he
spa.
could've- Last year, he could have played every game for the Texans. The league took no actions against him. He just sat out because he
Yeah.
did not want to play for the Houston Texans.
Okay.
So now that he's cleared of these criminal charges, the Texans are probably like, oh, blue light special, whatever the fuck you can give us. And
Yeah.
Cleveland's like, we'll give you everything.
Yeah, that's what Watson got, the blue light special.
But I mean, here's the thing: would
Don't
Cleveland
nobody
really be
care.
giving up?
Exactly, Cove.
Drinking old.
Nah,
I've been
man.
drinking Oli.
Nah,
Jeez.
man. Chicago Brewery.
Oh,
Called
okay.
Revolution Brewing.
I
A
mean,
little
if
summer
you-
shandy, basically.
Kofi. We got to get
If
Kofi.
you
out there
really-
once.
If you really stop and think about it, Cleveland's not losing that much in this trade. They're gaining everything.
That's
A
what I'm saying.
subpar quarterback in Baker Mayfield, Kareem Hunt. How much did he really play for them?
I mean, he
They've got
did
two
well.
other running backs that
He
can
did
do
well
the job.
when he played, but again, he was one of like 4 backs that was producing behind that offensive line.
Exactly.
Nick Chubb
They've got
being
running
one,
backs.
and then he was maybe 2 if he wasn't hurt. But then when he was, Dearness Johnson was playing well. You know, like
He does.
Nick looks like he's on a porn shoot.
There we go.
Producer. He's a producer.
That's why he's nasty Nick.
Here we go, Kof. What do you think? Is that better?
He's gonna change it up. He's like, I got you.
Oh, a school?
There we go.
Oh shit. Oh my god! But it's either way. It's gonna be interesting now to see what Houston can get for Deshaun after all the drama and the legal spats and everything else, and what the league will do with him when all this washes out, where he goes. But I'm telling you, if it's Cleveland, they might just jump Cincinnati. I gotta feel that way because they have been building to win a Super Bowl for a couple of years between the draft and bringing in guys, and now Amari Cooper. You know, they are doing everything they can to win. They may not, but they're doing it. They're like, we don't give a fuck. We're gonna win. We think.
Yeah, and they built that team around the philosophy of Baker is a running mobile quarterback. I mean, he's injury prone. He's not like Devin said. He's a number 2. Now that they're still building,
accurate too, man. He got really
he really is.
So what I'm saying is they're building around that philosophy.
Throws a tighter spiral straight up.
Yeah. So they have everything there. They just need that one thing, and that's Watson or another mobile quarterback. But it just makes the most sense for
Watson's a lot more mobile than Baker Mayfield.
The dog pound.
Arizona could make a strong play for Deshaun Watson with a Kyler Murray trade.
Yeah, but that's just a mess.
Reuniting him with DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah. And he wants out of Arizona too.
Yeah,
Bruce, you should be a GM. God damn.
I love talking about this shit.
He really does. It doesn't matter if it's fantasy booking or fantasy or fantasy building a roster. He's all about that shit. All about.
I love it.
All about
that would be a.
All right, so we got everything out about Deshaun and this situation.
Deshaun.
I mean, yes, he sat out last year, but he's still probably more in demand than most quarterbacks. And speaking of quarterbacks who shouldn't be in demand but are, Carson Wentz has been traded again.
This poor kid.
Yeah.
God, man. I know Brucey for a while there. He's like, I thought that was your boy, and I was like, he was until 2 years ago, and then I couldn't defend him no more. It's like, God damn, you suck, bro. Get the fuck out. And I'm so glad we got a first round pick for you, but get the fuck out. And now a year after that trade, the Washington Commanders have made a trade for Carson Wentz where they're swapping second round picks this year. They get an extra pick in this draft. And then next year they get a third round pick that could become a second round pick, which is kind of the way the Eagles win. It was a second round that turned into a first if he played 70% of the snaps. Washington's getting either a third or a second round pick if Carson Wentz plays 70% of the snaps. And I know we might all have our feelings about it, but there's been a man who has defended Carson Wentz through thick and thin, and he was a man who was also part of our front office for the longest time with the Eagles, Joe Banner. And he recently appeared, I believe it was on the Rich Eisen podcast. And when asked about it, he had this to say about the current Carson Wentz trade and situation. So I'll play this clip right quick, and then we'll get into it.
To clear and transparent, I was a big fan of that pick. I was a big fan of his play. I was a big fan of them giving him a long, very, at the time, expensive contract. So take what I say next with a grain of salt, since I'm 0 for 3 in my predictions about Wentz so far. But
right.
I just think at this point, there's enough evidence on the table. You got two of the smartest front offices in football that were deeply invested in this guy and had to pay a huge price to not have him on their team anymore. And then you can watch what you can see with your own eyeballs every Sunday. I just don't see how you turn around and make a bet on that guy to lead your team and be able to beat some of the quarterbacks that we were just talking about, some of the quality of the teams that we're seeing out there, just again in their own division. I don't even see how they get to winning the division, with this kind of move. And this is always one of my pet things, since I felt like negotiating was one of my strengths. Who did they think they were bidding against that they had to pay that in compensation and take on the entire contract? So I've actually been very critical of the trade. Wentz will make some spectacular plays. He'll have some games in which you're like, oh, my God, we did find the guy. But when the 17 games are done, you're going to be disappointed in his play. That's what I believe at this point.
And you know what? Before anything, I got it backwards, y'all. It turns out Washington swapped second round picks this year. They get a seventh rounder, and the Colts are the ones that get the extra pick in the draft, and then they get a third round that could turn into a second round if Carson Wentz plays enough. So let's start off with Tribal Chief, my man. Do you agree with what Joe Banner said? Like, what was Washington thinking, offering all of this for this man at this point?
This is Ryan Pace all over again. When he
Mm.
drafted when he drafted Mick Trubisky, and he actually traded up when he didn't need to if he was going to make that pick.
Didn't nobody
And
want this?
to give the Colts all that for Carson Wentz. I thought Tyler Heineke, that's his name, right?
Yes.
Taylor Heineke. Yes.
I thought he's a decent quarterback. I think he's actually someone on the same level of Carson Wentz. It's not slightly better. They just need to keep building around this guy. I don't know what the hell they're thinking. To the guy's point, yeah, I don't know who they had in mind. Like if they was bidding against another team, it doesn't look like it. But the Colts look like they just took advantage of it.
Yeah.
Of it, man. Basically, man, this is just a good trade for the Colts because they get a shit ton. They just can all those picks, second, thirds, dude. That's insane.
Everything
for Carson
got
Wentz.
Yeah, I don't get it. And I just want to jump in real quick and say, if you had put Taylor Heineke on that Colts team last year, I guarantee you he puts up better numbers than Wentz did. I guarantee it. But I'm gonna hold. I'm gonna pass we're gonna pass the mic along to the high class one. Do you agree with what Joe Banner said? Because he was on the Wentz wagon all the way up until this week, and now all of a sudden he's like, I'm jumping the fuck off. I don't care if it's due at 80. How do you feel about this trade that went down and Wentz's future in Washington?
I'm going to say this right now. I have never seen so many retarded trades in the NFL in my entire life than I have seen so far this offseason.
It's a bit much. Like some of them you look at,
Indy's going to stay. They're going to be just fine. They definitely made out and why the Washington condoms, like, I mean, I can't.
The Washington commies, okay, get it right.
The name just I can't. I don't know, man. You don't want Carson Wentz to be the face of your newly named franchise. Why didn't you go after Deshaun Watson, Kyler Murray, someone like that, where you can put a name to your new named franchise? Which sucks, by the way.
Baker Mayfield instead.
Get Baker.
No, I got a good answer for that.
Please, Nick, you're up. Yeah. You're up, homie. Go ahead.
The shit they've been through the past 3 years, they need somebody like Carson Wentz, a Christian, someone that believes in God, someone that does a lot when it comes to charity work. They need something. They need a change. They really do.
I see where you're getting at.
As much as I love Carson for 2017 and what he did for us, I will never forget, because that's just who we are. We're Eagles fans, and he took us to the promised land. Yes, he took us to the prom.
Did he fit us the job?
No.
At last.
No, he started.
He didn't, but he got us there.
Nick showed up and took us the rest of the way.
Hey, I told you not to call me that. Come on.
Not you.
But honestly, I think they're trying to change. They're turning the chapter here. They're turning the page.
Yeah.
They need to put somebody in there that looks like Carson Wentz. And you know what? In my opinion, I think he's a little bit better than Tyler Heineke. I'm glad that he's still in the NFL. Like I said, there's always going to be a little percentage of my football love that will go to Carson Wentz. So I think it's a smart move. I don't know if this is what they need. I think they need a lot more.
So you're basically saying that the commies went and made this move from more of a PR standpoint than a performance standpoint. Like,
what I always say, you put your business cap on. Carson Wentz is not a bad quarterback. He's not a quarterback that's going to lead you to, the promised land.
Yeah,
But
that's what I mean. Like he's not a bad quarterback, but at the same time, he's not very good. I feel like you already had that in Taylor
No.
Heineke, except you weren't paying all this money. Because that's the bigger part of this. Washington wasn't like when the Eagles traded Carson Wentz. The Eagles had to pay him still. They not only traded all that shit, they took Carson Wentz's salary off Indianapolis's books, or at least Indianapolis was smart enough to be like, okay, we'll take him, but you got to pay him, Philly. And we're like, fine, go ahead.
Did you see what Ron Rivera did with Cam Newton? I think he's going to do the same thing with Carson Wentz. I think that's who he needs. As much as Frank Wright was his father figure, at the end of the day, Frank Wright threw him under the bus. So did the GM. So Ron Rivera, I just think it's a good idea. Again, put the business hat on, Bruce. You paying attention?
I'm listening.
He's like, I'm wearing a hat.
Write it down.
You put the business hat on.
It says B for business.
And it makes sense to me. So I'm excited to play him twice a season. Yeah. So it'll be good to see him. Good to boo him. And it's crazy too because now Simmons. Yeah, Simmons is the same division as the Sixers, so it's going to be fun because both of them won it out. Now they're kind of back in.
I'm still trying to forget that game on my birthday, man. I don't even want to talk about that. That's just going to make me mad. But let me come back and wrap up this Wentz situation in Bo. I know you're saying like Frank Reich and the GM and all this threw Carson Wentz under a bus.
Mm-hmm.
Carson Wentz threw Carson Wentz under a fucking bus the last 2 weeks of the season. They needed one win, and they needed him to have one good game. And their opponents weren't even that tough. The last week was Jacksonville, okay, who had locked up the number one pick. You think they're really trying to win that damn game? No. So all Carson Wentz had to do was not fuck up and get them into the playoffs, and he couldn't even do that. I know he only had 7 interceptions this year. At least 3 of them were in the last 2 games when they needed one win to get to a playoff. 2 of them were in the game against Jacksonville where they blew them out and killed their playoff hopes.
Yeah.
Nobody threw Carson Wentz under any bus. My man walked out in front of that shit with the way he was playing. So if that's what Washington thinks is going to take them to another level, I mean, I know Riverboat Ron. I know he did whatever with Cam, and that's fine. That's great. That's dandy. Whatever. But he had the perfect opportunity with the perfect head coach that put him on his way to an MVP caliber season with a team around him that had a great defense, great running game. All they needed him to do was not fuck up.
I agree.
And he fucked up.
Yeah.
That's not your coach. That's not your GM. That's not your teammates. That's you. So you could say whatever you want about the Colts organization. They gave him every opportunity to succeed, and he failed. And when he failed, they turned around and they conned the Washington Commanders out of everything they could fucking get. Talking about what an amazing man and figure and everything he was. Because you can change the name, but you still got all them fuck-ups in the front office. You still got all them racial emails going back and forth from John Gruden. You still got all these sexual harassment suits. Yeah. So now you got this clean-cut Christian boy, and maybe it'll look good for you, but that don't mean you won't be 2-15 because you signed him.
Yeah.
And if I'm the Colts, I would have probably just looked at him and been like, hey, you're not doing anything with Taylor Heineke. We'll take him.
Yeah. They should have taken him.
He's a lot cheaper. He's a lot cheaper. He's going to be easy on our cap. We can sign more pieces around him, and he'll probably have as good, if not a better season than Carson Wentz, because that dude looked good on a not-so-good Washington team. There were people it didn't matter who were calling his games. They were all comparing him to Brett Favre. And you're going to take the next Favre and put him on a bench because you got Carson Wentz? Good luck! Good luck, Washington. See you in the basement.
Here's the other thing. How do you know Washington didn't bring him in? They may have given that stuff up, but brought him in to be the backup and to mentor Heineke.
I don't even
know that either.
Like, let me show you how to do this. No.
Don't do this.
You need to stop. You know? Like, Carson, no. Like, you're paying that man a lot of fucking money to come in and be a backup if that's your plan.
Yeah.
And even that is dumb for Washington. Like there are plenty
is
of guys that
Washington
are
we're talking
veterans.
That's not the plan, but it will be though. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, I feel like eventually, somewhere in the season, they're gonna bench his ass so they don't have to give up that second round pick instead of a third. And Taylor Heineke's gonna be back out there doing what he does. And they're gonna look to trade Carson Wentz for the third straight year.
Yeah, seriously.
I think if they trade him this year, he's going to retire.
He has to.
No, man, he'll be the journeyman. That's what he is.
Yeah, you know,
Whatever you
be
can
He's
do.
going to be
wait,
a Brian Hoyer. He's going to be a Brian
you know
Hoyer.
who he's gonna
Or
be?
Patrick Fitzgerald.
You know who he's
Yeah.
gonna be? He's gonna be Nick Foles. Oh, you're gonna pay my salary when I get traded? Okay, I'm coming to your team. Jacksonville, I'm there. Chicago, I'm there. You're gonna pay my salary? I'm there.
What?
And they're just gonna come in when they're needed, sit on that bench, cash them checks, homie. Just sign the check. Just sign the check.
Yeah.
I was good in 2017 and it's 2022. Sign that check, baby. That's who he's going to end up being. I don't see him being a starter. I had one point last year, like maybe, when they had rattled off 5 or 6 straight wins, I went, okay, Carson looks like the dude from 2017 again. And then all of a sudden he just checked out. I was like, nope, I'm done.
It's crazy that someone that looks so good is just like done. I mean, yeah, like you said, there was glimmerings of success this year. It looked really good through most of the. Go ahead. What?
Did you just put Devin's background up as your background?
He just finally noticed that.
Yeah, I just know. Holy shit!
I looked up, I looked down, I looked up, I looked down, I looked
Yeah.
He took
I
a
thought it was just
screenshot
like
of my
Yeah,
man's
it took over my
background.
background, bro.
Yeah. It's crazy how as an athlete like this can, a couple of years go from so high to so low. I mean, again, like you just said, Dom, he looked good this year, but that happens. Yeah, he's a decent quarterback, and I understand the whole business thing. It's just like, I don't know. What is this going to happen again? Like we saw it with the Eagles, we saw it with the Colts, and with the Redskins. Oh, sorry, with the Washington.
Yeah, don't say that.
Commanders.
God damn it, the Commanders. Yeah, the Commanders. I always do that. The Commanders. I just don't know. I feel like this is a downgrade from the Colts because the Colts looked really good. They needed that quarterback. That was him, or that was supposed to be him.
It was supposed to be. And
He
then
gone.
He did exactly what Joe Banner said. He had a couple of games where you said, wow, this is the guy that was going to be MVP. And then he just.
Yep.
And that's going to happen again and again with this guy. It happened in Philadelphia before we traded him. It happened in Indianapolis in one fucking season. It's going to happen again in Washington.
Do we think Andrew Luck comes out of retirement and goes back to Indy?
No.
Oh.
Rivers.
I don't know, man. I'm sure Colts fans out there would do backflips if he did.
I mean, I'm just saying, like he didn't retire because of injuries or because of body. It was mentally. It was a mentally draining thing for him. It was a mental break for him. So he could, if he feels his head's where it's at, he's still got at least 3 to 4 more years left in him.
Yeah, but physically he looks different. Have you seen him lately?
I have not.
Wentz?
Oh, dude.
Andrew Luck.
Did he ever get rid of the neck beard?
Yeah, man, dude. He at least drop at least 30, 35 pounds,
thinner.
bro.
It's a good look.
He's
Okay.
he's definitely leaner. Yeah,
I
he's
mean,
not like
pretty
overweight, but he's leaner though, man. Not
Last
like
I
football
heard-
ready.
Yeah.
Last I heard, and I think Brucey would like this, the Colts are hell bent on getting Jimmy G.
Jimmy G.
No, he needs
Yeah,
to
but
go
that's-
to Las
Well,
Vegas.
Let's be honest, but they got Carr. They're not giving him up.
But that's a good
So,
play though, man. They got Taylor.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Look at that. Look at the way that offense is built. They're the San Francisco offense, but maybe a little bit better with that line and that running game and Jonathan Taylor and all that. So if you get Jimmy G in there, that might just make you a playoff team next year. Because I know he makes mistakes, but he doesn't make like Carson Wentz level mistakes. When they needed him to play to get in the playoffs, he played. Carson Wentz did not. There's a difference.
I think you said the key word right there, might. I don't think they're looking for a quarterback that might get them to the playoffs. I don't know. I don't see Jimmy G going there. If they do, then It's kind of similar to the Wentz, with the Wentz deal. So
Son of a bitch, Brady is back. Can you
Never.
please
I don't know.
What's up,
I
Ivan? I never get
just-
tired of seeing that man. We just saw him Friday. And he's back again. I love that man. Shout out to the League of Extraordinary Podcast and Ivan. Go Brucey.
I just have this feeling that Josh McDaniels is going to reunite with Garoppolo in Las Vegas, and if Garoppolo reconnects with his offensive coordinator from New England, it's going to be dangerous.
I'm not
Yeah.
saying
You
that
saw
would be
what
bad.
you
I'm
saw
just
what
saying.
he did with McDaniels.
No, I did, and he was good. I'm just saying, if that were to happen, I could see Derek Carr going to Indianapolis in a heartbeat.
No.
But
Yeah.
when you look at what the Colts offense caters to, and you look at what Jimmy G can do, it's like a hand in glove type fit. So I could see them taking some of these picks that they stole from Washington and looking at the 49ers and being like,
Yeah.
which one you want?
But isn't Derek Carr similar to Wentz?
Jimmy G?
No,
Oh,
to
Yeah,
Wentz.
the Wentz, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he's never
closer
been
to
able
Wentz.
to get to that point.
Mhm.
I don't know if they're looking for him. I think it's more of a mobile quarterback.
You know what it is? You know what it is, though, Nick. The difference.
I love saying
between
that word, mobile.
mobile.
Mariota's
Agile.
being
Yeah,
linked-
what about Mariota? Yeah, with Daniel.
Mariota's
Baker.
big.
Danny, my boy.
Mariota going to Indy would be a great fit too because
I
That
think
dual
that's-
threat paired up with.
I think
Brandon
that's
got a
Sailor.
great
done.
running game. Like Jimmy G, these guys would fit with what Indianapolis schemes in first place. And
Yeah.
so either one, like Mariota, I think we talked about backup quarterbacks a few weeks back. I was like, that's the dude. Like if you're looking at
Yeah.
backups right now, that's the dude that deserves another shot at starting somewhere. So if he went to Indy, I'd be a pretty happy guy about it. What is right now? If you were the 49ers, just keep Jimmy G because now with Wilson gone, the NFC West is wide open next season. That's true.
Wide open spaces.
That's true. But you gave up. You drafted that boy Lance high, like high as fuck.
High class.
like high class high.
Yeah, that's right.
That's high. Like
Don't
Matt
do
Riddle
it.
high.
What?
No, it's just Riddle. Get it right.
Yeah. He's only got
I
one
agree
name
with
now.
Dom. Okay.
Good. What about me? Come on.
Nope, he said me. We're here. All right. So last but not least, since most of us root for different teams, I want to go around and just say, what do you think with free agency coming up? What is the biggest need for your team, or is there a guy you want to see on the roster? And since it was his birthday, and since he's a fellow Pisces, I'm gonna let Devin go first. Who would you want to see the Bears sign? What do you think is like the biggest need where they sit?
Well, I don't know for like personal by player's name who they need to sign, but position level though, they need offensive linemen. I can tell you that.
Yes.
For the future, for Justin Fields, he is from what I saw so far, he's a decent quarterback who has the vision, but he just needs time. And you do that within the draft. So if they could do that within some trades somehow, I'm all cool with that. But definitely build it in the draft.
What are you laughing at, Bruce?
Daniel's comment.
Bears need to sign a guy who won the lottery.
Jesus.
Dan
He's
the
got
man.
jokes, Devin. He's got jokes.
He's definitely got jokes, though. No, but you're right. I mean, that line, Justin Fields had like a Troy Aikman rookie season. He was just on his ass 90% of the time.
Yeah.
He got
And
hit
he's
a lot.
a lot more. This is for Nick personally, and he's a lot more mobile than Aikman
There
was.
we go, baby. The word of the night.
All right, high class. I guess we're gonna say he's because Brady, but you've been a Pats guy your whole life.
Hell yeah.
Must be nice.
What do you think the Pats should focus on going into free agency? Do you have a name in mind? I know you were talking about Devin McCourty when we got on. Like, what do you think the Pats need to improve?
Well, we can always use linemen, but the thing with the Patriots, the two things that Belichick's great at drafting is offensive linemen and defense. He is great at it. So we'll get our offensive line pieces in the draft, But I honestly think that they should shoot for Jarvis Landry because they need that one go-to wide receiver that Mac Jones can trust because N'Keal Harry's not getting it done.
Yeah.
And bring in Bobby Wagner.
No, that's
it. No.
Yeah.
Fuck
No,
you.
bring in Landry and bring in Bobby Wagner. End your free agency and take everything else in the draft.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it looks like Dan the Man is with you. Pats need a playmaker for Mac Jones,
Yep.
and I agree with that too. Like they had some guys step up last year, but one of them was not Nelson Aguilar. That was for damn sure. And
No, he's
you can
gone.
keep him.
He gone.
Oh, he gone. Well, we don't want him back. You can keep him. Nick,
Yeah.
where do you see the Eagles needing to go to improve this team, whether it be draft, free agency, both, whatever?
Yeah. I'm going to keep it short because I feel like we're going to be repetitive here. So I'm just going to do two easy ones. Obviously, an edge rusher and a safety. I think those two are really important for the Eagles. As much as we discussed how the Broncos are a young team. I think we just need to grow into our what we have going. Kelsey's back, so that's a good motivator. Now we have to succeed. We have to do well in this draft. It's a big draft. This is probably one of the biggest drafts we've ever had. So this is really important. But again, I don't want to be repetitive. Obviously, I could say linebackers. But Dom, what do you think? I mean, I think. Go ahead.
You made some good picks. I was going to say what Dan said. They definitely need a linebacker. Maybe a guard because Brandon Brooks finally retired, but Landon Dickerson played pretty well in his place. They made Jason Kelsey the highest paid center in the NFL, and good. That man fucking deserves every penny.
Absolutely.
At the same time, maybe you do need to shop Fletcher Cox because my man fell off. Like, I love that dude. He's been great. He just doesn't seem to have it anymore. So maybe if somebody's offering, before draft day, you field them phone calls. But linebacker, Bobby Wagner, like I said, there's a guy that would come in, anchor that defense, be that veteran presence, upgrade that core immediately. I also because I caught my main man Shady on Good Morning Football on Friday, and
McCoy?
I love that he still and I love that he still says my Eagles. That just touches my heart. But he brought up somebody that I wasn't thinking about, and when it popped in my head when he said it, I went, that would be perfect. He said we need to go out and get a guy like Allen Robinson to put next to Devontae Smith because it wouldn't make him the number one. It's a veteran receiver who can kind of take Devontae and show him this is how you run this route. This is what you do on this play. This is how you take care of your body. This is that. Help groom him to get him to that next level. He's still able to make plays. He wouldn't have to be the number one. You got weapons around him with Devontae, with Dallas Goedert. They've got a nice line. Running game too could be another one that your best running back had 0 touchdowns. That's a problem.
Yeah.
That's a fucking problem. You're number one in the league in rushing, and your lead running back has 0 touchdowns. That's a fucking problem. So they have a lot of draft picks. They could address all this stuff, but wide receiver, linebacker. If you could get Allen Robinson and Bobby Wagner, that team goes from a playoff team to, like Shady said, division champs.
Yeah. Yeah, I think wide receiver is important too.
I mean, the way this offseason is going, they could get 3 first rounds, a 5th, and a potential 7th for Cox.
Yeah,
right.
The way this offseason is going.
Does Washington have any draft picks left? We'll take them. Is Detroit calling? We'll take some of them too. Yeah. Fletcher Cox is reportedly being linked to the Chargers. Could you imagine that though?
Shit.
Yes, get him out of here, please.
But that might. I love Fletcher Cox, so that might rebuild my man's career if he's got Bosa and Mac on the line with him.
Richard,
who shut that shit down?
Yeah.
Speaking of shut that shit down, that's about all we have for you this week, y'all.
Boom! Another great segue.
Boom!
I definitely enjoyed this whole ass birthday bash for Devin and I, and bringing the crew in, whether it be my man High Class Devin, just bringing all these league members together, kicking it with sports and having fun with it. This was tremendous. I'm gonna since he's actually on the screen and
Two of me
on
right
the
there.
screen twice, I'm gonna let Devin take center stage here and just let everybody know where you can follow him, where you can find him. If you're not following his projects, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with you. But here's your chance, Devin. Let the people know where they can find you. I've always wanted
Yes.
There you
First
go.
of all, man,
Hafiz.
thank you for being a gracious host. Appreciate the hospitality. I
Anytime,
had
bud.
a great
Anytime.
time having fun, shooting the shit, talking all sports and whatnot with the fellas, man. You can always follow, our podcast, ClarkStreetWrestling.com. ST for the abbreviation. It's actually right up here, right above me, right here. There's
And
one
below
stop and
you.
shop. Yes,
And
and
below
you.
And below
And
you,
below
thanks
you.
to Nick.
Right. We got all our social medias tied into that website, audio podcast, video podcast, and our merch. We got beach towels. We got hoodies. Get a little spring weather right now. So stay warm, stay toasty. ClarkStreetWrestling.com.
Do I need to do the Hafiz thing?
/ for your pleasure. It is decided.
Damn right it is.
Love it.
My man Nick. Let everybody know where they
Yes.
can catch your stuff. You have some of the best shows and best intros in the wrestling game right now. So please let everybody know where they
Yes,
can
sir.
find you.
Guys, it was a pleasure having you guys on again. We'll do it soon.
Absolutely.
Happy birthday. Again, I've said it like 8 million times, but happy birthday again to you guys. Bruce, well, hey, how are you?
Great. How are you?
You can find us on Twitter at the UW Pod and Instagram at UW Podcast. We got a lot going on. We should rename the podcast former WWE creative writers because Chris Dunn's coming back on with a few other former writers on the next episode. It's going to be a banger. It's going to be really fun. So, boys, thanks again.
That's awesome. And usually I do this, but I don't have to do all of
Give
it
it
now
to Bruce.
because my social media guy is right here. High
Yes,
class.
I am.
If
Holy
people don't know,
shit.
we do a wrestling podcast. Where the fuck have you been? High class.
Yes.
Let them know where they can find us, where they can follow us, all that shit, all of it.
Listen, I'm going with the whole stick. Listen, there's 2 places you can find us on Facebook. That is Top Rope. 2 places, same name. Top Rope Wrestling Talk group, and we got our Top Rope Wrestling Talk page. In our group, come in, shoot the shit, post memes, have fun, talk the shit, watch Devin pick on me about some guy from another company.
I gotta bring this back.
Yeah,
Go ahead
that.
and say
All right, Sammy.
Holy Jesus, that's from like our 3rd episode.
That's from like episode 3 of Top Rope. I was doing the Spanish God thing for Bruce and Wendy and everybody.
So
That's
you
funny.
can also find us on our page. That's where we have all of our podcast stuff. That's where we post everything for the podcast. You can also find us on Twitter at Top Rope WT. It's popping off. It's on there. We're on there shooting the shit, sharing stuff from other shows. Other shows are sharing us. It's a whole
amazing.
lot of fun. And then you can also find us on the PWI award-winning, yes, I said it, PWI award-winning worst Instagram handle ever.
The worst.
Let's hear it.
The worst.
Here it is. It's at top_rope_wrestling_talk. God damn, that's a mouthful.
And
That's
it's
where
the
you
worst.
can find us on the gram. Hey, Dom.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Tell these motherfuckers where you can buy Top Rope merch.
Uh-oh.
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to let it all out there because if y'all listen to this after the fact, we have a YouTube channel where you can catch the Sports Syndicate and Top Rope all in one place. Go to TRWT, parentheses, Fox Den John, JAWN. It's a Philly thing because it's my thing. You will catch every episode of this show as well as Top Rope, as well as YouTube exclusives from Top Rope. So if you've been listening to us on our many platforms or anchor.fm/TRWT, you've been missing some shit. Now, if you want to get our merch, just hit us up at trwtmerch.threadless.com. You'll see all our logos from there. And once you click a logo, you will see everything you can get, which is basically everything. Everything. We have shoes. We have leggings. We got beach towels. We got blankets. We got pillows. We got
Shower
buttons.
curtains.
shower curtains, bath mats.
Got it all.
We got onesies for your kids. We got hoodies. We got kids shirts. We got everything. Find it all at trwtmerch.threadless.com. Get yours today. International shipping, because we got some fans all over the globe, and I appreciate that too. So we got you covered there. Sales all the time. Next time there is one, I'm gonna put it all over social media. So stick to what Bruce said and follow us. And hey, rep your favorite podcast all over the fucking world.
Yes.
Help us go global at trwtmerch.threadless.com. So again, I gotta say thank you to all these guys, because these motherfuckers are family. I gotta go. Go for it. We're out of here anyway. These dudes are family to me, even though Brucey is leaving me a couple minutes early. You know, some men are premature. I don't know what to tell you.
That's sure he is.
Best of us.
And this was so much fun. Thank you to everybody that showed up in the live chat. Thank you to my man Devin, OG host of this show, as well as many others, and of course my man Nick. I hope we let you talk enough this week, homie. I apologize.
Dan wasn't here, so
cut you off the last time, but we worked that shit out, and we will be back as soon as we can, maybe cover some of these free agency moves, talking more NBA, talking more about, anything comes up with baseball. We still haven't gotten into the USFL, and I've been wanting to do that because I'm excited for that shit.
Yeah.
But until next week, everybody, stay safe out there. I know I said raise your glasses, so don't drink and drive, and enjoy what's left of your weekend, even though they stole an hour from us. And we will catch you next week right here live on the Sports Syndicate podcast. Where's that video? Where's my video? God damn it, monkeys in the truck. Help me out.